I wanted to do OTAs just to get that feel, so I wouldn't have to, wait to camp and be banging with guys and feeling my body out. So, right after OTAs, just going through that grind and cutting and breaking and doing all of that, and just feeling my body again. And once I came back, just did the off season training and rehab, and definitely felt good coming into this camp.
Kyle was saying today that during practice, he's okay with guys being chippy and irritating to each other and pushing buttons and just taking it right to the edge and not crossing the line like it kind of did the last practice. Right. But how difficult is that a line to straddle sometimes when you're competing and motions are running?
I feel like we definitely handle that well. We're a tight knit group here, so we know each other pretty well. We know what buttons to push and what lines to cross, but it's always competitive, when we get out there. And I think all our guys know that. It gets chippy sometimes, but it's never any malicious intent or anything like that. It's just guys love to play football and guys love to compete. So we just feed off of that and we make each other better each and every day.
How much is Fred Warner just the impetus for all of that spirit out there?
Oh yeah, I mean, it definitely starts with those linebackers. Fred being the leader of the defense. Him, Aziz, Dre, how they just come to work each and every day, setting that tempo. Flying around to the ball, and we just feed off of that. D line, whether it be Nick or just any of those D linemen. Just watching them and how aggressive and violent they are. I think we just feed off of that as a whole. And it just carries on.
Watching that D line in front of you, it hasn't been a whole bunch of practices, but do you sense a different energy from this group than you have before?
It definitely gives me a lot of similarities to 2019. Just how we get into the quarterback. Everybody playing assignment football and just doing their job. You know what I'm saying? And then we see the results each and every day. We had a day where we had, just a lot of sacks, a lot of turnovers, TFL stuff like that. So it just really gives me that 2019 vibe, and I just hope we continue to grow. Just continue to go forward.
It's been said that it's not necessarily it's a little harder on Trey Lance to be back there just because defense is so strong. What have you seen from him and his progress throughout this training camp so far?
Man, from what I've seen from Trey is just really just his progression, just getting quicker in his progression, knowing that, sometimes he's going to be under duress. So he has to find his hot throws and things like that. And him just getting on those pages with his wide receivers, him and BA clicking really well. Definitely a lot different from what I seen last year. So just a lot of his progressions, just reading the defense way faster, hitting his check downs, making the right reads. And the D line just making him better. I feel like, when the preseason comes and when the regular season comes, it'll definitely pay off.
Looked like there was, you guys have had so many PBUs and interceptions and stuff in the early part of camp. It looked today like the passing game started to get a little bit more in gear. Maybe they're getting used to your speed or whatever. Did you sense that too today? That their passes they were a little more efficient and you were having.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what we love from my guys. We talk to them receivers each and every day. Telling them what we see from our side of the ball, maybe anything that can help them, when we're going against an opponent. But like I said, it's all competition, what I'm saying? We just want to make each other better so we can be the best team that we can be this year. And like you said, the pass game is definitely kicking up. They're making it tougher for us. They're giving us different looks, running routes out of different formations and things like that. That's making us stay real disciplined. So
there seems to be a lot more depth and maybe talent in the secondary than there's been in quite some time. How motivating is that everyday practice just to see that around you?
Man, it's like you said, the key word is motivating because, we got a lot of young guys with a lot of talent. Sam, Demo, Ambry, all those young guys, who was rookies last year, they just getting better and better. And it definitely, pushes us veteran guys to, lock in and just try to help them along the way as well. So just the talent level that we have on the back end, just give us extra confidence, that if something does happen that we can easily put one of those guys in and we can just keep pushing.
They say that power and explosiveness are the hardest things to get back after Achilles injury. What for you in your particular way that you play your style, what have you noticed has been the last thing that you need to overcome?
Definitely explosive, it was tough. I can say that just day in, day out, rehabbing, not seeing a lot of progress in the first, 3 to 4 months. So They told me that it would come back like that, but it really didn't come like that. It's still a grind to this day. So, just definitely that explosiveness, and I just try to work on that each and every day. Um, so that's one things I can say was probably the hardest.
Feel like maybe it wouldn't come back, and now do you feel like it has come back all the way?
No, I wouldn't say that I thought about that. I just try to keep positive mindset, throughout the whole rehab process. But, just trusting my trainers here. They just did a fantastic job with me, just, taking it at my speed and just keeping me uplifted on through those days like that. So I just had to block out all those negative thoughts and just focus on the positive and the positive outcome.
Since you were forced to just watch last year, is there anything about watching the game, maybe film wise, that you think you might have actually benefited from trying to, use a bad situation for a good one?
Yeah. So basically the whole season last year, just being in playbook, just having that extra time, I would say just to see things from a whole different perspective, see different guys around the league and how they play and how they might, different techniques they use for different coverages and things like that. So I would just say that time that I had off, just getting deeper into the playbook, just getting deeper into other guys around the league and see how they, different things that they do.
Some teams and talk to some players that feel like when they have an injury like that leaves them out for like the whole season, that they feel kind of like outsiders. Did you have those feelings at all, or was it feel pretty inclusive here? I mean, at certain times you're going to be away from because you're rehabbing. But what was that your experience like?
Sometimes you have those feelings, especially when you're not on the plane or the bus and they're leaving out for a game. But just a group of guys that we have in here, they just always reminded me, that I was a part of the team and things like that, like checking in on me, just outside of football, seeing how I was mentally and just seeing how my rehab and everything was going along. So especially within the DB room, just always had guys checking on me and in the locker room as well. So they definitely did a great job, and I'm thankful for them.
Mentioned BA, how much has he leveled up this season, and how much do you enjoy going against him in practice?
BA is having a great camp, man. I tell him that every single day. I tell him that he just needs to keep going how he's going, keep progressing. He can definitely be at Pro Bowl level. Like I see that in him. I see his confidence just rising each and every day. Really almost with each and every catch. His confidence level is just going through the roof, and having a guy like that going against every single day, that competition, it's just iron sharpen iron, make us better.
Couple more. All good?
Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
time away from the facility?
It was good. I stayed here. I worked out with the strength staff. I worked with our nutritionist, Jordan Major, and just stayed the course of what I was already doing before OTAs.
Did you make, I guess we talked to you during OTAs, you were happy and the coaching staff has been happy with some of the progress. So what's kind of been the shift in focus now during training camp, now that you're happy with where your body's at? What are you focusing on?
Just trying to be more fundamentally sound each day. So, if I'm not doing something well one day, making sure I come in the next day and try to correct that, and really just getting better each day, not taking these days for granted.
How much does Trent Williams impact your day-to-day, your development, just your growth as a player?
Oh, Trent's great. It's definitely a different game when he's in there. Kind of just don't really have to worry about what he's doing. He's going to get his job done. So it kind of eases the minds of other guys. But I think he's awesome to be around. He's very smart, very savvy, and helping me with little tips here and there to try to help me be better.
Is there a certain comfort level that comes with you moving back to the left side?
Yeah, I played 3 years of left guard at Notre Dame. It was a difficult switch from left to right last year, but definitely a little more comfortable on the left side.
When you thought about it after the season was over, how did you assess your rookie year?
I think there was a lot of growth. I think there was a lot of room to grow. And I just kind of came in each day trying to get better. And that's, still had the same mindset. So, it didn't go like what I thought it was going to go like. It didn't go like what a bunch of people probably thought it was going to go like. But, take the shit with a grain of salt and move on. So,
Scheme and everything, and the need for offensive linemen to be able to get out and do things that other schemes don't necessarily take into account. What was that transition like for you, and how much more comfortable do you feel now doing those things than you did when you first got here?
Yeah, like the more you're in it, the more comfortable you're going to be with it. And I think our room has a bunch of athletes, guys who aren't just big and can move people, but can actually move their own bodies in space. So, the more you're in it, the better you're going to be off. So, I think this year will definitely be a better year for that.
Was that what this offseason was about, like getting your body to the point where you can consistently do those things?
Kind of. I just wanted to be, physically a better player. And I didn't want to, I wanted to tighten up and be stronger and be faster, be quicker overall, just be a better athlete, be stronger. So.
There's been a lot of talk over the last week of Trey going against this defense and how difficult it is, but that it's really good learning experience. Do you feel that when you're going against this line?
Yeah, I think we got the best D-line in football. I think our whole D-line room is amazing. I think they're really good, and I think they're definitely helping us get better. I think our defense as a whole is really damn good too. So, it's when you go against guys like that every day, it definitely helps the offense.
There was a play in practice today where it looked like a design run by Trey, and he was following you up the middle. Can you just discuss what that's like, having Trey's rushing ability behind you, and what kind of connection you have being in the draft classes?
Oh yeah, me and Trey are tight. We've been close since the day we were both drafted. I think it's awesome having Trey behind me. I do have a good connection with him. But as far as like him running behind me or anything, I'm gonna treat him the same way I would treat my backs. Just block my ass off and try to make sure he doesn't get hit.
Aaron, the corners have talked about having regular conversations with the wide receivers. Is there kind of a similar communication between the offensive line and the defensive line in terms of swapping tips?
You said swapping tips? Yeah, we talk. Like, we tell each other what we see. Like, what they'll ask us questions, we'll ask them questions, just trying to make each other better. There's no like, oh, like I need to beat you. I'm not going to tell you what I'm seeing or anything like that. Like, we're worried about the team being better. So any way we can help each other, we do.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
How was your off season?
Off season was great. Spent it in San Diego most of the time, just training, kind of, going into year 5. So got kind of everything I need down there. Got the routine pretty good. But yeah, no, it was really good.
The early part of camp, the defense, one of the better defenses in the league, has been making a lot of plays, interceptions, pass breakups, this and that. Today, it looked like there was at least a little bit of a subtle shift. I mean, there was a lot of completed passes and more efficiency, and you just sense that there was a little bit of growth today offensively.
I think just training camp in general, like going into my 5th training camp, like that's kind of how it usually is. Like defense usually comes out and usually, make some plays and stuff while the offense is kind of getting gelled. For the first time, getting the pads on, everything, it's getting in the rhythm of the offense. But kind of as training camp goes on, like we start vibing with each other and, usually starts picking up a little bit.
You enjoyed the shift to more move the ball periods, to where does it simulate a game and that kind of stuff more?
Yeah, definitely. I really like move the ball period. I think Kyle really likes it too, just because like he always just says that's real football. You're out there, you're stacking plays together. You start getting a little tired, and it's like, how do you think and how do you perform like when you do start getting a little tired, instead of kind of like the scripted team periods? You're usually like 1 or 2 plays in a row, and then you kind of get your wind a little bit and stuff like that. So it's just real football. You don't know what's going to get called next play. So it definitely is really good work for us, and it's definitely something getting us better.
I noticed that at the start, first team, second team, and third team, you moved them back 10 yards each time. Does that just Kyle building in a holding penalty just to give you guys a situation, or were there actually holding penalties on?
I can't remember what that period's called. It's like, but it's meant to be like a 1st and 20, like after a holding penalty, or a 1st and 15 after like a false start or something, just to prepare for the worst case scenario that are definitely going to happen like during the season. It's called get back on track period. So it's kind of like you start getting a 1st and 20 and you're trying to get a first down and just kind of like recover from a bad situation.
You pretty much just zero in on your own position and your own job, or I wonder, do you look at the big picture and see a new quarterback with different strengths and wonder what this offense is going to look like?
I try not to think too much about, other people. I try and just like zero in on myself and the best I can. And just kind of focus on my job and take it, sort of one play, one technique that I can improve on at a time. But no, I try and just kind of focus on myself a little bit.
You have any observations of what you've seen from Trey so far, but how he's handled himself? And, placing a real popular guy, everybody seems to be doing this very professionally, but what have you seen from him so far?
It's great. The jump from year 1 to year 2, it's really impressive. Just sort of how he handles himself in the huddle, like calling plays with confidence. No, he looks really good. Everything's good.
You were talking about how you got to focus on yourself and stuff. So when you're in the one-on-one pass protection drills and you're holding your own and worry about your own stuff, do you get a chance to at least kind of look and see what Kittle's doing to guys? Because he seems like he obviously has that aspect of the game down.
Usually I look more at that like when we watch it, like kind of back on film. Yeah, I'm kind of just like, when I'm out there, I'm kind of like just focus on my next rep. I'll notice it here and there, but like we really sort of analyze it more like when we go and like actually watch film on it and stuff. Like we can see like more technique, like are you gaining ground with your second step, like all that kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, what can you guys as tight ends try to mimic this guy who's obviously really into it? Yeah.
Really anything, really anything that you can get. Like he's a technician, and like he's gonna play his ass off every play. It's really just really anything in his game.
I was talking today about how he likes players to kind of be chippy and irritating to each other and push each other's buttons and take it right to the edge, but don't cross over it, which sort of happened in maybe in the previous practice and did not happen today. Is that a hard line to straddle sometimes, being super intense and competing and getting in some guy's face, but then knowing when to back off?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a line, but I mean, football is a one of a kind sport. You know, it's like it's the sport that definitely is the hardest to kind of find that line. But I think we've all made it to this level, and we all can straddle that line pretty well. But it definitely is a hard line.
Ross, something just personal for you, someone who played at Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills, which is 100 miles away from here. What does it mean once again to be, playing for a team that's not that far from home, and how going into year 5 for you, how has that further motivated you or inspired you on the field?
I think like my rookie year, it definitely was kind of like surreal. But now it's just kind of normal, I mean, the main thing is it's close to home for like my family and friends to like come to games and stuff. But really other than that, it's pretty normal.
Anything else?
All right. Thanks, y'all.